Oh well, let's just pull apart Paul again. Today I've got something different. I'll swing you around and show you. Alright, what we have here. We have two server power supplies. Now, the purpose of today's video is to show you how to convert a HP server power supply to able to be used on ham radio or CB radio. The reason why I choose these as a go-to item, one is their compact size, two, that they are highly filtered devices, so that you don't get the switching noises that you get with other cheaper power supplies on the market. So for around about $60 Australian, all up, finished, plugged in, you'll have a roughly around about a 62 amp capable power supply. Now, these run at 12.2 volts. Yes, there are many other power supplies on the market. There are the PD22s, which you can, with a small surface mount modification, convert these to 13.8 volts roughly. Now, for 1.5 volt difference, you've got a highly capable compliant device that's designed to run. Now, I'm just going to go through and show you what you need. Now, I've just got my scribbly notes here, and let's see how we can do this. Alright, so what we have is you're going to need to screenshot this. We have a PL29 HP server power supply, and as I said, you can use the PD29 as well. They come standard with a switched V plus at 12.2 volts with a 62.5 amp maximum capacity. I've purchased 3-section LEDs from AliExpress. They're virtually nothing. So you just need to make sure that you get the DC with the three LED sections. There are a lot of 110 to 200 volt items, and you need to read the fine print. Now, you can get them in all different colors. I've bought quite a few because I was actually out. And pay attention to the size. I got the smaller sized items. For the optional front mounted panel that I've made out of plastic, I've also inserted a light changing LED to show that there's power to the front panel. There is an LED on the back showing that 240 is connected, but it doesn't show you that there is power at the front. So I use that LED. You'll need a 320 ohm resistor on that as well. You can polarize the resistor on negative or positive. But you do need to understand what side the cathode is on and get the cathode on the positive side and the negative on the negative side. Alright, 60 amp plus cable. That's my belief. You need some nut and bolt fasteners. And for the switching, this you will need 2 by 1 kilo ohm resistors at roughly 1/4 of a watt will do. You can go bigger if you want, but it becomes very bulky. And you will also need 2 IEC power cables. When you buy these service supplies, most sellers do not sell them with the IEC power cables. So depending on what you have, most of you will have these in your parts bin. Otherwise, it's a visit to the known electronic shops, and you pay $10, $15 Australian for them. All right, so pay attention to the solder pads. So you have six pads. You're soldering on the far left. You're going to make a jumper across to the negative pad on the power supply, and you're going to solder a 1 kilo ohm resistor. You're also going to solder one on the bottom to 2 pins, a 1 kilo ohm resistor. That tells the unit to switch on to the front panel. This is all done normally via the server. So you're just fooling it to think that it's connected to a bay. Alright, so I'll put that away. That's given you enough time to copy that. Now, I've actually put resin. When I do my mods here, you can see there, that's the panel which I've done the soldering to. And you can see at the back there 2 resistors. Now, not only do I put the resistors in heat shrink, but because these pads do peel off if you accidentally touch them, I've applied part A, part B resin to them so that you can't push them, get to them, and cause any problems. So I've also drilled 2 holes through the front PCB. I've put washers underneath, so that gives added strength because it spreads the load over the fiberglass PCB. And you can see there how I've done the LED display, and I've also done the LED here just by simply soldering them to the front pads. There is a very thin line here, so be very careful that does not short. I'm actually in 2 minds of making that a bit wider, but I'm actually intending to flow more of the resin over here so that becomes a plastic covered environment, and there's no choice of shorting. I've also put some PVC on the front panel, which I've cut to size, and I've used you can see plaster fixing board or drywall double-sided tape, which has foam in between, which bonds that together. Now, this isn't about a pretty contest. This is about a functional, safe project. Okay, and that's the result. So I run T connectors on everything. They're just automotive, and then heat shrink. That's all safe. And my shack runs off all of these. I go through these. I buy them in bulk. So yeah, I'll show you behind them. So behind them they have a fan. There's your on LED. They have a small handle. There's your IEC connector. It comes with a spring mount clamp which holds onto the connector. And yeah, so that's the little project. So instead of lumping a PS52 power supply with me everywhere, or a Meanwell 100 amp power supply with me everywhere, I can take these things. They're great for field days. They're great for running off inverters if you're out camping, because their output is relatively small. You can there's so many different uses for them. Okay, so yes, I hope you enjoyed that. As you can see, I buy quite a lot of these, and as far as my LEDs go, I buy them in bulk. I buy them already made with the LED in place for 12 volts, and I probably buy them in hundreds at a time, so it's not probably twice a year I buy them in all different types, and then I buy the different ones which have multicolours in them. I also buy 3-legged ones which have two legs or switch cathodes for some of the radios like Unidens, which have 2 different colours on the one LED. The list goes on and on and on, and then you want 3mm, you want 1.5s, and then you want the holders. I've got boxes of them. So that's just today's little video about DC power supplies and recycling. I'm not a fan of the Duratec or other switch mode supplies that are on the market. For the last 10 years I've been almost exclusively either a ham power supply, the old school, or the switched service supplies, and I've used them on amplifiers, MOSFETs, used them on LM-DOS high performance transistors at 50 volts and that sort of thing. So they're very, very clean. But anyway, that's your lot. Where did I buy supplies? Well, the supplies I got off eBay locally. I wanted them in a hurry, so I paid, what was a $25 plus post Australian. I have seen them a lot lower, but my next goal was to buy a few in volume. But there we go. That's your update for today, and DC power supplies. Please screenshot the information sheet and use the right type of soldering iron, one with a fairly fine tip. Alright, remember, you can do it. Nice little project for a wet day. This is Pull It Apart Paul. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers.